because Tulsi Gabbard just exposed everything. So we're going to go through that and take live calls. And the program will begin in a minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, and we've got a lot to cover, okay? What Tulsi Gabbard has done is spectacular. She's absolutely amazing, and we all owe her such a great thank you for her incredible heroism for what she's done. You got to understand, Tulsi Gabbard, she's out there calling Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and other very powerful people, Democrats all, traitors to our country. And she's got the receipts because she's the director of national intelligence. I'm going to go through the information in a moment that she dropped yesterday. But you got to understand something here. Going up against these people that she's taking on, Tulsi Gabbard, is brave for anyone to do. But think about this. She's a lifelong Democrat. A lifelong Democrat who left the Democrat Party, and she even ran for president as a Democrat. She took the debate stage with Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and some other Democrat lowlives, okay? And she is a red pill Democrat who has seen the light. So they view her as a traitor to the nth degree. And not only that, she's from Hawaii. And that's where Obama says he's from. And, Obama, so she is not only going up against some very powerful people, incredibly powerful people, she's being viewed as a Benedict Arnold traitor to their entire movement, even to her own state, to the Democrat Party. So Tulsi Gabbard, we all owe her an extra bit of thank you and gratitude. Now, I want to go through this. Again, welcome. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I will take your calls on this. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can call the podcast toll-free in progress, live, at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And if you're in the live chats that I have going while I'm live streaming the podcast, the number is pinned in the live chat. Okay, so Tulsi Gabbard, she dropped all this on X, and let's just go through it and talk about it. She said this, their goal, that's all these conspirators, which she does name by name, their goal was to usurp President Trump and subvert the will of the American people. No matter how powerful, every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The integrity of our democratic republic depends on it. We are turning over all documents to the Department of Justice for criminal referral. And this is just a brief little clip of the press release. New evidence, this is from her, Tulsi, new evidence of Obama administration conspiracy to subvert President Trump's 2016 victory and presidency Washington, D.C. on Friday, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard revealed overwhelming evidence that demonstrates how after President Trump won the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton, President Obama, and the National Security Cabinet members manufactured and politicized intelligence to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. Okay, now before we start to go through this, I mean, this is amazing what she's done. You know, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, we know this. Don't you love all these all-knowing people sitting at home? They just know everything. There's a difference between suspecting something and having hardcore evidence that can be brought in front of a judge and a jury. Do you understand? So what Tulsi Gabbard has done is collected the documents, and there's a lot of them because they thought they were going to be successful. They never thought Trump would be able to finish his first term. They thought he was going to be run out of office, and they certainly never saw him coming back for a second term. So Tulsi Gabbard has the documents that prove all of this, all of it. So that's a big difference than, well, I know, well, you know, your knowing doesn't do any good in a federal court. Now, before I go through her release, and I'm gonna go through it with you in just a moment. Here's another thing about Tulsi Gabbard and what they were doing to President Trump. This is something that you guys got to understand. Okay, when this was going on, I talked about this a lot. So those of you that have listened to me for a long time have probably heard me mention this many, many times, but I want to mention it again for people that are new to the program and also for some context into what's happened. All of these traitors, Hillary Clinton, Obama, and all the rest, they don't view themselves as traitors. They don't think they were committing treason. They don't think they're villains. They believe that they are, I know this is sick and twisted, but they actually believe that they are American heroes and heroines who were working to preserve the republic. They really believe that. They're sick and twisted. And one of the reasons that is because President Trump, when he became president in 2016, was the first president of the United States ever in our history to not be a part of the political establishment of the day. You know, every decade or two, there's a whole bunch of new players that are the big donors. Okay, it's always been that way since George Washington. In George Washington's day, it was maybe the planters. I don't know. But it's always been that way. I mention this quite frequently. Abraham Lincoln was an attorney for big railroad. Okay, the railroads were the big thing, right? So, you know, he was a big corporate lawyer for the railroads. I know that's not how history remembers, but that's true. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you that President Trump is the first president to truly be independent of the political class, the political donors, the deep state, who is beholden only to the American people. They had nothing on him. They spied on his home at Trump Tower. They went through all those things, and they thought they would find something because they could not imagine that a man has been a billionaire. He was born a millionaire, but they couldn't imagine that a man has been a millionaire and a billionaire and worldwide famous his entire life and not have skeletons in his closet. They couldn't find anything. They tried, and then they manufactured the Russia dossier and all that. And he said, get the heck out of here. But they couldn't find anything to blackmail him with. They didn't own him, so they said, okay, but they had nothing. So he's the first president of the United States, Donald Trump, to truly be free of these evil forces. And this has never happened before. Not just in our lifetimes, this has never happened in the history of the United States. So the donor class, the permanent Washington class, the deep state, the press, which are part of those things as well, they were in a panic. So that's when they did this. So let's go. This is Tulsi's release from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. This is the press release that Tulsi Gabbard released. And I'll go through this, okay? In the months leading up to the November 2016 election, now remember that was when, it was Trump versus Hillary Rodham Clinton. In the months leading up to the November 2016 election, the intelligence community consistently assessed that Russia is probably not trying to influence the election by using cyber means. On December 7th, 2016, after the election, talking points were prepared for James Clapper. He was the director of national intelligence then, stating, foreign adversaries did not use cyber attack on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential election outcome. This is 2016. On December 9th, 2016, President Obama's White House gathered top National Security Council principals for a meeting that included James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence, John Brennan, CIA Director, Susan Rice, you all know her, lowlife John Kerry, Loretta Lynch, Andrew McCabe, and others to discuss Russia. After the meeting, the Director of National Intelligence Executive Assistant sent an email to the intelligence community leaders tasking them with creating a new intelligence community assessment per the president's request, and that would be Obama, who was on his way out, that details the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the election. It went on to say, this will lead to an effort of CIA, FBI, NSA, and the Department of Homeland Security. So they had this secret meeting, and then they crafted, okay, we're going to say Russia, Russia, Russia. Obama officials leaked false statements to media outlets. Now understand, President Trump is the president-elect of the United States at this point. Obama officials leaked false statements to the media outlets, including the Washington Post, right? Deep State CIA, Woodward, Bernstein, Watergate, claiming Russia has attempted through cyber means to interfere, if not actually influence, the outcome of the 2016 election. Keep in mind, this is Obama undermining his successor. On January 6, 2017, a new intelligence community assessment was released that directly contradicted these assessments that were made throughout the previous 6 months. After months of, this is again Tulsi Gabbard's press release I'm reading from. By the way, if you're new to the program, welcome. Make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening on or watching on. Tulsi Gabbard's press release goes on to say, after months of investigation into the matter, the facts reveal this new assessment was based on information that was known by those involved to be manufactured, i.e., the Steele dossier, or deemed as not credible. This was politicized intelligence that was used as the basis for countless smears seeking to delegitimize President Trump. So, this is what I'm telling you here, okay? This is what I was telling you at the beginning. This began with the wiretap on Trump Tower. It continued after his victory, and even after he was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. This is at a level, what happened here. I know these are things that you and I have talked about for years, and we've experienced it, and we've seen it, and we know it, and everything else. But to actually have the Director of National Intelligence share the documents with everyone, with the world, send the criminal referral with the documents, declassifying things, so that the Attorney General of the United States can begin the investigation and prosecutions. This is historic. It truly is. If you're on hold, hang in there. And if you'd like to call in, please do. If you're watching live on YouTube, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. See, this Solomon story that he talked about 8 days ago, this is part of that. Right? Remember? Solomon was at Turning Point in Tampa. He said they're preparing this big lawfare case, this big, beautiful lawfare case that goes back a decade against Trump. Statute of limitations doesn't apply because there's a grand conspiracy. This is it. This is part of it. It's a big part of it. But this is it. Oh, man. I got to tell you, when I saw this drop yesterday, I got goosebumps. I didn't do an immediate stream on it last night because I wanted it to play out a little bit and get more of the information, which we did, that I'm sharing with you right now. You know, everything they've done to this president, you know, we've had this illusion in this country that just is not true. If you guys remember, remember the X-Files? One of the big plot lines in the X-Files, and this has been talked about, who's the secret government? Who's the secret government? See, not only have all the past presidents been controlled by the deep state and donors and such, okay, none of them really ran the country before. All the past presidents, all of them were figureheads, some more so than others, okay, but were figureheads. So not only did they not control President Trump, he was actually running things, and they couldn't have that. And what we're going to find, now the beginning reactions to this, we'll see what happens on the Sunday shows and such. The immediate reaction to this will be circling the wagons and all this stuff by the Democrats, the liberals, and all these deep staters. But this is why President Trump has been praising Pam Bondi. And I'll tell you another thing. All this talk that Tulsi Gabbard has been on the outs, it doesn't look like that to me, does it? Mm-mm. In fact, not only is she not on the outs, she's very much on the inside. So here's Brennan, former director of the CIA for Obama, and this is on MSNBC. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what he's panicked about there, Brennan, is Tulsi Gabbard coming in as the Director of National Intelligence. See, there's also, not only is President Trump the first president to actually govern, the first president not controlled by all these evil people, the people that he's brought in are so outside the box. Who would have ever dreamed a Democrat Congresswoman, Tulsi Gabbard, would be the Director of National Intelligence for the most conservative president we've had, President Trump? Who would have thought of that? And a lot of these outside the box people that he picked, like from Fox News, different agencies and such, you know. And what we're going to find is that great people like Judge Janine and Alina Habba have been strategically placed in certain jurisdictions as United States attorneys to handle this case. Now, this graphic here has been circulating all over, the creation of the Russia hoax. And, you know, the Democrats, a lot of people say, well, no one's going to arrest Obama. Really? They arrested President Trump how many times? Was it twice? One with you know, that's right, Bragg and Fulton County on top of the other things? Or was it 3 times? I've lost track. If they can arrest President Trump, they can arrest President Obama. Now, there's some memo that is circulating on social media that says Obama said do it by the book. They put something on the record just so that Obama had deniability. I've got nothing to do with this. I got nothing to do with this. Part of this is also the reason that Comey's daughter was fired by the president and Pam Bondi this week as a United States attorney. She's involved in a lot of this. This is really an incredible time we are in. Now, I want to take our first break. There's a lot more to share, and those of you on hold, I will get to your calls as well. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. I'm Brian, and this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. Call is on hold, stand by. You know, to have the Director of National Intelligence use the word treason in reference to a former president is insanely historic and exciting, that finally this is being called out. My goodness. Who, this, and of all people, Tulsi Gabbard, a former Democrat, which kind of helps in a way because it shows that even Democrats get it. All right, let's take a call or two before we get to more of the stories. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Paul from New York. How you doing?
All right, Paul. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Yeah, I just thought I'd call into your show. Now, I just have a question for you. You and I don't necessarily align completely politically, and that's perfectly fine, on everything.
Oh.
If I just had to ask you a question genuinely, and this is just coming from a different perspective than yours, is why do you think that the Democrats are weaponizing the Epstein incident or the scandal, whatever you want to call it? Why do you think that is after years of many Republicans weaponizing it against Democrats? Do you think
No, Republicans didn't weaponize anything against Democrats. If Democrats have been accused of something, it's because they were doing crimes. The Republicans didn't weaponize anything against the Democrats.
Okay, well, not necessarily the Republicans, but a lot of folks on the right, let's say, right?
No. So the right has not weaponized anything against the
wait,
Democrats.
Okay, can I talk for a second? So there were people going after a lot of individuals on the left.
This is what I'm confused of. This is what I'm confused by your call. Okay? And this is what I'm confused about. Your president, Obama, okay?
He's not my president, but I never said that.
You didn't vote for Obama?
No.
Who'd you vote for?
I didn't vote in that election.
You didn't vote?
In 2012? No.
What about 08? Who'd you vote for in 08?
In 2012, I didn't vote. No.
What about 2008, the first time he ran?
I didn't vote for him then either.
Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for in 08?
I didn't vote in those elections.
Who did you vote for last time? Who'd you vote for last time?
Well, I figured that you'd interrupt me, and you probably.
No, we're having a discussion. I mean, no, we're having a discussion. Who'd you vote for last time?
Who did I vote for last time?
No, who did I vote for?
I was asking a question.
Now, yeah, who'd you vote for last time?
Who did I vote for? I voted for the independent candidate.
Oh, so you so you basically voted for Kamala, right? To vote an independent candidate. What was the name of the independent candidate?
I didn't vote for it.
What was the name of the independent?
I didn't vote for Harris either.
Who was
I didn't vote. I'm asking.
No, who was the name of the
Brian,
you said
Brian.
You voted for an independent candidate. What was their name?
My name.
What was the name of the candidate that you voted for? What was their name? You don't know?
Donald Trump.
No, you said you voted for an independent candidate. That's not Donald Trump. He's the Republican candidate.
Donald Trump. Well, no, I didn't vote for Donald Trump because to tell you the truth.
Oh my goodness, you're all over the place. Okay, you're all over the place. Typical liberal. Here's my confusion. Here's my confusion with your call.
Brian. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do. You see, here's the thing, Brian.
Yeah.
I watch your show. It is a good show.
Thank you.
And I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing your audience a favor.
What is the favor you're doing?
Because I'm trying. Brian, I can't talk because I figured you'd interrupt me if I said that I didn't vote, which is, whatever. I'm asking a question. The thing is, I have another question for you. Okay, this is number 2.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm watching your show. I'm not making money.
I don't know what favor you think you're doing anyone, but okay, ask your second question.
Well, because I'm watching your show.
That's
the thing.
Okay.
But the thing is, just let me think. Can I finish my second question?
Ask your second question.
All right. So the other day, you did another show, right, where you were on the line with a woman. She sounded very angry and everything. But don't. I know you're probably going to hang up on me or interrupt me, but let's maybe not do that. Let me finish. You said to her, she said that she was in her 60s, right? So she said that. and then you said, how long have you been divorced? And then she F-bombed on you.
Yeah, she said F you and
F
hung
you.
up. Yeah.
Right. But the thing is that you seemed very angry about
No,
her swearing.
she was okay.
Listen,
Well, because when I'm on,
I knew
excuse
you
me,
were
I'm not
gonna
here.
interrupt me.
Excuse me, you never stopped. I'm going to comment on what you said. The woman during the week when I live stream in the morning, I'm on the radio too, on a whole bunch of radio stations, and you can't say the F word on the radio. You can't use profanity on the radio. So when people use profanity, I have to end the calls.
Said that after you said to a woman in her 60s, how long have you been divorced?
Why do you?
Sorry,
Yes.
But that's
yeah.
more disrespectful than saying
The lady was very nasty. She was very nasty. And she was yelling. She was interrupting. She wouldn't have a conversation. And I asked her how long she's been divorced because I know no man would put up with that. But this is what I find interesting about you and your call that's filled with half-truths and lies about who you voted for and everything. Here we have, excuse me, we have the Director of National Intelligence has just used the word treason against a President of the United States, Barack Obama, and you want to talk about everything but. What you're doing is a distraction. I do thank you for your call. The rest of you on hold, stand by. You notice on yesterday's morning show, we had this big stuff that came out on the Epstein files with the president, with President Trump and everything that came out, right? Remember all that? Every liberal that called wanted to talk about anything but that. See, what liberals do is they try to distract and move you into a different direction. So, and it's a form of propagandizing. All right, let's take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, I'm Isaac. I'm from the great state of Minnesota, also known as the most based state in the Union, running against both Nixon and Reagan when they were the most popular. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, my question for you is, why are you so insistent on supporting a kitty diddler? Like, why do you support someone who rapes little girls? That's what I want to know.
Well, first of all, people that say that, the president sues, so you better watch yourself, okay? See what I mean? They want to talk about anything but the story, the Democrats. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. This is Brett Baer last night talking about this story. This is insane. Thank you, Tulsi Gabbard. Wow. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's there, and she's got the documents. And what we've had from the first couple of callers I took, this is going to be the future for the next few days from the Democrats. Let's talk about anything but. Trump this, Trump that. And we're not going to let that happen. Now, Friday is open phones on the program. You can take a shot then, but the rest of the time, we are going to stay on track. They have to say allegedly. They have to say allegedly because this isn't something that Tulsi Gabbard has just released. This is for an actual criminal prosecution. So they use terms like allegedly. Don't let that upset you when you hear some of our people use that, because this is going to go to court. Now, some of you, I'm going to be seeing a little later today at Attorney Barry Siegel's office. I will be at Attorney Barry Siegel's office in less than 90 minutes from now. Don't worry. I have a personal appearance this morning at Attorney Barry Siegel's office. And the weather in Florida is so good, I'm going to take the MAGA scooter, my Vespa, today. And I will be seeing you guys there. In fact, as soon as the show is over, I'm going to get ready, finish getting ready, and head over to Attorney Barry Siegel's office because I know some people are wondering, wait a minute, aren't you going to be over there? Yes, I will be there. And I look forward to seeing you all there that are coming. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Paul again.
No, Paul, it's one call per day. It's one call per day. One call per day. Call me on the next day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Kurt Newton from Maine.
Hey, Maine.
I just hope
hold on one second, Maine. Hold on one second. I'm answering these phones. All right, go ahead, Maine. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just hope this is like a soft disclosure, and here comes the rest of them right down the pipeline. You know, with the Clintons, and you know all of them. I can go right down.
Tulsi Gabbard has named Hillary Clinton. So yes, Hillary Clinton is a part of this. So the lock her up looks like it may become reality.
Yeah, I hope it does, because the 65 missing unalive people that were associated with the Clintons. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? That's only some of it.
Yeah. Well, let's try to focus on this. Let's try to focus on this. I mean, if you get, you know, what we have here is after Trump won, and she's got all the documents, Tulsi Gabbard, that she sent to Pam Bondi. Obama had a meeting with Hillary Clinton was there, as was Brennan and Comey and others, and then boom, they came out with all of this right after. And if you remember, it was not long after this meeting. We'll start to get timelines, okay? And I'm looking forward to those. But if you remember, after this meeting at the White House, this Comey went to President-elect Trump's office with the Russian dossier at Trump Tower and threw it on his desk to try to blackmail him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm curious how long after this meeting it was exactly. We're going to find out.
Yep. But I'm glad somebody in Trump's administration is actually coming alive. You know what I mean? Because I know some of them have to watch what they say, and I almost think some of this Epstein, I think is still an investigation, and they can't be unsealed.
Well, this is the thing. They've been working on this for months in secret. We just didn't know about it. This just didn't come together yesterday. This has been a 6-month. Well, as soon as everybody was confirmed and in place, that's when they started doing this.
Yeah, and I hope Bongino, he just didn't jump the gun. I know he's frustrated and everything, but I think he jumped the gun a little bit. I think he should have a little bit more patience, because I think he wanted it quicker. You know what I mean?
Now, I think Bongino. Listen, we all like Bongino, but he's having marital problems. He said this on Fox and Friends a couple weeks ago, and I believe it's financial, because he walked away from $1 million a month job for this job, and the business is falling apart. Okay, and there's financial pressures that they're under. I think that's what's causing, and I think he was kind of using this as maybe as a way either to get an out, to get back to his business, or to satisfy his wife. I tried, but the president called me and said you can't quit. You know.
One thing I want to say. Listen, one thing I want to say is, I said this as soon as he became president, we have not seen this much corruption come alive in the whole history that's actually had something to stand for. And I think President Trump is going to have to declare something and stay in presidency until this is.
No, we're fine. Don't worry. No, we don't want to start doing that. So, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. We don't want to start doing crazy stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
New York.
You got to speak up. You got to put your mouth closer to the receiver. I cannot hear you.
Right. I'm just wondering if you're able to have a conversation with anyone without interrupting them or hanging up on them. It seems like you have no knowledge on this subject.
Well, it's hard to have a conversation with someone who's on a speakerphone too far away from it. Can you put your mouth closer to the phone and we'll attempt a conversation?
Well, if you cleaned out your ears, it's right in front of my mouth.
Well, then you have a very bad phone, but we'll try.
Congratulations. You have a very bad argument.
Yes, you didn't want me to interrupt, and I'm listening, but I'm not hearing much.
Well, I'm just waiting to see what you have to say is so great about this administration that's full of pedophiles.
No,
potentially
none of that is
pedophiles.
true, and anyone who uses the P word will be disconnected. I'm not going to put up with people throwing that word out at people. It's not going to happen. Not here. Okay? Now, you can use other words, but you're not going to use that one. Okay? And notice, they want us to talk about anything but. My name's Brian. We'll take a quick break and be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, so this is the Gateway Pundit reporting. Fox News anchor suggests Obama-led seditious conspiracy. Seditious. He's doing that too. Seditious conspiracy with the Russia hoax coup attempt. Oh my goodness, look at this. Seditious conspiracy, and then they name the law. United States 18 United States Code 2384 defined as two or more people conspiring to overthrow, put down, or to destroy by force the U.S. government or prevent it from carrying out its lawful actions. So, this is what they accuse President Trump of. Everything that they've accused him of, they're doing. Insurrection, mortgage fraud, right? They're all doing it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ron from Atlanta.
Hey, Ron. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
What's going on? I'm just curious. Is Tulsi going to get some charges against the people against this?
Well,
or she's just saying this allegations.
No, she's the director of national intelligence. She doesn't bring charges against people.
I'm saying, are they going to convene?
She sent the information as a criminal referral to the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi.
So
yes,
nothing.
Yes.
So nothing as of yet.
This just dropped last night.
Treason is pretty.
This just dropped last night.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, and don't you think it's kind of convenient that this just dropped last night, especially what's going on with Trump and Epstein?
There's nothing going on with Trump and Epstein.
Excuse me? There's no list or anything.
No, well, there's lies and slanders. Notice again how the liberals want to talk about anything but. There's lies and slanders.
I literally started off with Tulsi breaking charges.
No, but that was just your pathetic attempt to seem like you were on topic.
No. Okay, well, we can literally stick to that. Let's go back to the treason thing. Now, why would the director of intelligence just have allegations? Why wouldn't she literally have the proof?
She doesn't just have allegations. She has collected
literally what you
she has
said was allegations.
no. She is the director of national intelligence. She has collected the documents with a timeline and given those to the Attorney General of the United States.
Earlier in the broadcast, you said allegations.
Well, because it's a criminal, because in the United States in which you live, okay, people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So because this is a legal procedure, because this is a legal procedure, you're going to hear people say alleged and allegedly a lot because this is a legal procedure, not some political operation.
Well, technically, it is a political operation.
No, it's legal.
Intelligence, that's not political.
There was what she is alleging with the documents from her office.
There you go, alleging.
Everyone's alleged until they're proven guilty.
No, I'm saying you would think, especially this happened 8-9 years ago, that she would have the proof and would be allegations.
She's had the job for 4 months. She's had the job for 4 months.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means that she has, for the last 4 months, they have been conducting an investigation and collected the documents. And when you take over, when you're the director of national intelligence, you're in charge. Excuse me, I'm speaking. When you're the director of national intelligence, you have oversight over all of the intelligence agencies. She's had the job about 4 months. It takes a while to collect things on a case this big against big name people like Barack Obama, Clapper, Hillary Clinton, and others.
Could you play that back? Because what?
No, I can't. I can't play that back. I mean, there's Steve Kane has this saying sometimes with callers. Having a conversation with that guy is like playing handball off a wet mattress. No doubt about it. The liberally impaired are up early. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Brendan, and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
All right, Brendan in Boston. What's on your mind?
I'm sorry?
What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just got off your call talking about, the Epstein files, and I want to know why you don't think Trump's on that list.
We know he is not on the Epstein list because with all these things that Obama, Biden, Comey, and all the rest were doing against him, they never released any information showing he was on the list, which they would have done to stop him from coming back to the White House.
So then why are people like Mike Johnson and Thomas Massey, who are Republicans, by the way, clamoring to get that list released?
Well, there's a lot of people that are Republicans. We call them rhinos, Republicans in name only. And there's all, so I call them rats, Republicans against Trump. Just because someone's a Republican doesn't mean they're a good guy.
But then also, why is Trump, who has documented ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
No, he has no what documented tie does he have to Jeffrey Epstein? See, again, they keep throwing that name out all the time, these Democrats, to distract from the treason committed by President Obama and Mrs. Clinton.
What treason is this?
Well, you've been watching the show. I've been detailing it for the last 49 minutes. Rewind the show and watch from the beginning. Rewind the show and watch from the beginning.
They have not committed armed rebellion against the United States.
Nobody said really? They shot President Trump. The Never-Trumpers shot President Trump in Butler. Then they tried to do it again at his golf course here in Florida.
Yeah, those are a couple of crackpots. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's somebody behind it.
Yeah, they were not a couple of crackpots. There was a conspiracy there.
Says who?
Says the investigators. As an example, both of them have connections to Ukraine. Hey, listen, rewind the show, watch it from the beginning, get informed, and then you can call me back. Now, I tell you, when you listen to these Democrats out there, it's an interesting thing because on yesterday's program, the entire program, we talked about this Wall Street Journal lawsuit of President Trump's, right? About that fake Epstein card and everything. I had liberal callers for 3 hours, nonstop. They wanted to talk about everything but Epstein. Now that Tulsi Gabbard has referred as a criminal referral treason charges against President Obama, Mrs. Clinton, and the others, now they want to talk about Epstein. It's really amazing how these Democrats operate. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. He was just on the air with me the other day. I was on his radio show too yesterday. And Jupiter Joe Thomas, I talk about annuities with him. And, annuities are an amazing thing. I've heard about annuities my entire life. I never understood them until Jupiter Joe Thomas explained them to me. And 5 minutes later, after I understood what annuities are and how they work and the great benefits of them, I was left saying, why is not everybody involved in annuities? I'm not a gambler. I don't like to invest in the stock market. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not a financial advisor. Joe Thomas is, and he says you should diversify your investments. But I don't like the stock market because, one, I can't handle the anxiety of ups and downs, okay? I just can't handle that. And two, I work too hard for my money to things about going up and down. What I like about annuities is this. When you call Joe Thomas and take advantage of that no-charge phone consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the United States. He'll put together a custom proposal just for you. But what I like about annuities are two major things. Number one, your investment is not at risk. No matter what happens in the market, you're not going to lose 10 cents. That's amazing. And you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. Give him a call, 561-743-0999. Set up that free consultation, 561-743-0999. Okay? You can also find him online at jupiterjoe.com. When you call, ask him about that 10% bonus. There's an annuity. You can get a 10% bonus right then and there. You'll earn 10% on your investment before you walk out of Joe Thomas's office. Is that not amazing? And he's also giving away free copies of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. When you call, ask about that. Again, give Joe Thomas a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online, jupiterjoe.com. Hey, yeah, I hope you guys can join us on our next MAGA cruise in March. You're all invited. All right, let me take another call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once. Oh, you made it. It's going.
I just wanted to
There we go.
call and ask about if I'm sorry, I had it all thought out.
That's okay. I'm patient.
So I've been listening for like about an hour now, and everybody that's calling in keeps trying to talk about how Trump's been implicated in the Epstein files, but I wonder if they ever heard about the fact that Trump was the one that referred or gave the evidence to the FBI that got Epstein caught in the first
See,
place.
the reason they're talking about Epstein is because they don't want to talk about this criminal referral that Tulsi Gabbard sent about Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the others. They're trying to get the show in another direction. That's why they're bringing up Epstein.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, that's the reason for it. They're bringing up Epstein because they don't want to talk about the story of the day. They're propagandists. All right, appreciate the call. He lost his train. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh,
Yeah, you're
Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse.
Hi.
Hold on, Jesse. My phones are ringing off the hook here, guys, so I apologize. All right, Jesse, you're on the air.
Oh,
Yeah, you're on the air.
Okay. But yeah, no, that was my question.
Well, like I said, they're talking about Epstein because they don't want to talk about this treason charge that's at Pam Bondi's office right now. They're trying to get the discussion into something else. It's propaganda they're trying to do.
Okay.
I mean, listen, Epstein's been dead for 6 years. And the crimes he committed were years before that. I mean, what are they? This is a program when we talk about news, and if you drop the new, not the old. This is not a history channel.
Right.
Yes. Are you okay?
Oh man,
That's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
I lost my train of thought.
That's
I
okay.
just woke up, so.
That's okay. You just woke up. Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Texas. Well, it's coming up on 8 o'clock in Texas. Oh my goodness, you sleep in.
Yeah, I do, especially on my one day off.
Yeah, I hear you. I never sleep in. 7 days a week, I'm up before the sun. I can't sleep in. I wish I could sometimes, but I can't.
I appreciate everything you do, sir.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the call. All right, take care. I like that guy. He's trying. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
All right, good morning, Brian. I'm calling from the great state of Michigan. My name's Frank.
Hey, Frank.
I appreciate the show. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about if they do face charges, Obama, Hillary, Brennan, and Comey? Would it maybe be a tribunal?
No, it would not. I don't know why people. No, it would not be a military tribunal. It would be a federal court.
Would just be federal. Okay.
Do you? I mean, why would? A lot of people talk about military tribunals all the time. I don't think we want to be in a country that's governed by the military. The military answers to.
Because of the treason part.
People get tried for treason in the federal court system. You don't want the military becoming the court system. That would set a dangerous precedent. All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, guys, I will be at Attorney Barry Siegel's office in less than an hour. Okay, because I know some people are wondering. I probably should have done this podcast later in the day, but I wanted to get this out in the morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once.
I can go. My name is John, and I'm hello.
Yeah, John. Yeah, you're on, John. You called me.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. You have something to say? You called me. I didn't call you.
Okay. So you're talking about Epstein?
No, we're not talking about Epstein. Liberals are desperate to talk about Epstein, but no, we're talking about the Director of National Intelligence, former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard, has brought treason allegations against President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and others of the Obama administration. That's what we're talking about. Oh, he hung up. See what I mean with the Democrats today? This is how bad this is for them. The Democrats know they are in big, big trouble. That's why they're trying to hijack the discussion somewhere else. Because what a lot of this is? Since Doge shut down USAID is where a lot of that was a deep state operation, and we saw with USAID that they were funding members of the media outlets and everything. A lot of the talking points must have come through USAID, and since they've been shut down, these Democrats haven't been fed talking points, so they don't know where to go. They don't know what to say. They're talking pointless. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Are you calling back? You hung up the last time. Do you have something to say? I'm going to move on. I mean, you're a grown man. I mean, you don't make. Do you spend your days making crank phone calls? I mean, is this the adulthood you envisioned as a child?
This isn't crank yankers.
Do you have something to say, or I'm going to move on?
A little bit.
Once.
Yes. How are you doing?
We'll see.
Twice.
Oh my goodness, your parents must be so proud. Oh my goodness. It's one thing if I get a young kid calling, right? Get some high school kid calling in. You get a grown man that's middle-aged or older, that's a sad life. Now, if you'd like to support my program, great way to do that, become a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes and access to a lot of information, vlogs, videos, and other things that I post nowhere else that only Patreon supporters have access to. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video. And if you're a top Patreon supporter, you get a live on-air thank you shout out on every episode. So the names you will hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. Again, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on. And also, you can just go to the direct website, which is patreon.com/RealBrianCraigShow. Patreon.com/RealBrianCraigShow. Now, the rest of you on hold, my apologies. I have a personal appearance I have to be at in less than an hour. Okay, so those of you that are going to be there at Attorney Barry Siegel's office, I look forward to seeing you all there in less than an hour. And I'm going to be running it close. I'm going to be cutting it tight, but I'll be there, guys. Don't worry, I will see you there. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in.